Hello! It's Friday. That means it's our Campfire Friday podcast. I'm Jodi. So nice to have you here. Please make sure to let me know if you're joining. Say hi. If you're watching on the replay, say hi. Let me know where you're watching it from because we stream to multiple places. So, to all of our YouTube, welcome. My YouTube channel is Jodi Gambini. Everything's really simple. If you want to find me on any channel, whether it be Facebook, TikTok, all of the things, my main is Jodi Gambini. You definitely want to go to Facebook though and look up Camp Gambini Community because we that is kind of our community, our tribe. That's where all of this stuff happened. So if you're joining, just say hello. Let me know where you're joining from. I'm gonna just double check that you guys can hear me. Um, let's see here. So where hi, and make sure if you are watching this, there's a little when you first logged on, it would say click here. If you're watching from StreamYard, that's how I can see your face, but you don't have to do that. It just is a little helpful. So let me go on over here. All right. So how is everybody doing? How are you all doing? Um, let's see here. I just realized I think I am. Yes, I definitely, if you're wondering, it is Sergeant Jodi here, General Jodi here. How has your life been? Has it been like training? Okay, yay. You guys can hear me. So I'm going to just take a quick second and drop a couple of things because it's just kind of how I have to do it. Well, I might have to do this again. Okay, this is always fun when I prepare and then it's still not working. Oh no. Okay, come on. How has your week gone? You know, God always has us in training. So I say that because it's kind of like we are in training. Good afternoon. You guys make sure to let me know where you guys are joining from. Um, I don't know if I said it here. So let me grab this up here. Hey! Oh, Deborah! How are you? Where are you at? Deborah in HA here. Okay, I don't know where. Are you in Hawaii, Deborah? Super awesome. So, yeah, so this is our 113th episode of Campfire Friday. We meet every Friday. I am late. I've been trying to do 3 o'clock, but I had another little switch and shift. If you're not feeling a lot of like pivot, shift, change things, um, most people I know, like everything seems to keep doing that. And yeah, Deborah in HA here. Oh, that's Virginia. Okay, that's what I thought. I'm like, is it Deborah? All right, Lodi, California. How are you guys? So, I'm gonna try to just type this one in. Say hello and where you're joining from. Okay, I'm not meaning to yell, but it appears I have all capitals on here. So if you guys did miss Motivational Monday, it was a really cool conversation. And I was not on fire on Fridays. Had a little switcheroo, but you will totally want to be on. So say hello. Thank you. You love the hat. This was actually my brother-in-law Joe's hat. He went to heaven, but my sister-in-law let me have his hat. So I had my hair partially up today because I've been out doing different things, and I was helping at a program through Oasis City Center called Store the Green for all the Oasis members. And so I just thought, you know what? I saw the hat sitting over there, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to put the hat on because honestly, I feel very tired. A little sleepy, a little tired. I'm like, okay, but let's gather. Cool cup. Where's the the camis? Oh, the camouflage. Oh, cool cap. Thank you. So I do have my just plain cup. So here's something kind of funny. I need anybody know how to eat guava. Okay. It seems the seeds in guava you're not supposed to eat, maybe because they're really, really hard. I tried to take them out, but so I thought I was getting figs. Okay. I don't know. Obviously, I can't always read when I have my contacts on and not my readers on too. But the flavor, it was in my car. And I was thinking it was the strawberries. And I was like, something tastes delicious. So here's my question. Are you supposed to eat if anybody knows about guava? I was thinking about trying to make juice out of it or do something with it. Cindy, hey. But does anybody know about guava? Are you supposed to peel it? Would it be nice dehydrated? I actually just put it in my water. Does anybody else like to do that? I like to add fruit in my water because I've not drinking enough water today. And welcome. I got my baby cousin on. I'm thinking it's Alicia. Hi, Cuzzo. How are you? So, so here is my first question for you guys. So thanks for all, let's see here. Say hello and let me know where you're joining from. And we are just starting. Okay, somebody's giving me a tip. Peel. You can also make in ice cubes. How would I make it in ice cubes? Would I make it like a juice? And how the heck do I peel it? Do I use like a potato carrot peeler? It didn't seem like the skin was that easy. We'll love some kind of trick. There's one. Never heard of guava. It smells so amazing. Anyway, I have like 2 little packages of it. I thought they were figs. I don't know how I read it wrong. They look a little like about the size of figs. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, we're doing all this dehydrating, and pears have been delicious. Apples have been delicious. I'm going to try some of my oranges one of these days. Between that and my sourdough starter journey, I'm staying pretty busy, but I'm always trying to use the fruit and the things that we have handy or that I get given to me. So I got a whole bunch. Dan tried pears and apples, and they've turned out great. And it almost tastes like candy. You have to watch that you don't eat too many of them. If you remember that, like really 4 slices is like a whole pear. So if you eat 4 of them, might be a little sugar overload. Still much better, probably sugar than all the other sugars out there. But Yeah, I want to. Okay. Somebody else said chop up pieces or juice, but put a little water. So good in iced tea. Ooh, that sounds delicious. That sounds really good because I like, if you know me, I don't drink soda very much, which is probably an amazing thing. But growing up, we had iced tea, no sugar soda, no sugar lemonade. So I'm just kind of used to that. But I do love some great flavors in my iced tea. Sometimes one of my favorite things to do is put some lemonade in my iced tea. So, yeah, I'm going to have to figure out how to make some of this. I want to maybe try with my new blender. It's this cooking blender um, to make it, just not enough time in the day. Apricots are my favorite. Yes, they're in season very soon. Our apricot tree looks like it's going to have apricots. Those honestly are the best dehydrated. I probably out of any fruit, the apricots, first of all, they're really easy to just pit and put on. I have like 3 racks to do dehydrated fruit, or I think I'm going to try some little cherry tomatoes and make like some sun-dried tomatoes. I saw somebody do it, and then you actually pack it in some oil and you keep it in your refrigerator. So anyway, I'm always trying to use all the produce that I have before it goes bad. I don't know if anybody else has that. So it's not like I'm this fancy I just want to use what is given, like what is in my hand. Okay. And I feel like the same. And if it means that I can also not get so much stuff, preservatives, all of that stuff. Because, a lot of times they soak all the fruit in sugar. I don't know if you've ever looked at cran raisins and they taste amazing, but I tried to make my own cran raisins and it was like, woo! I had soaked them in a little bit of sugar, but they still were. And when you look at the cran raisins, they are like soaked in sugar. So I try to eat things that aren't soaked in all that stuff. Um, but yes, so always love. Yeah, I know there's guava juice because I think I have had guava juice before. And I have this new blender that they said you can put whole oranges once they're peeled and stuff, and it just makes orange juice. So I'll have to figure out. I love that idea with ice cubes. I do that with all my lemons. I juice all my lemons and then I take an ice cube tray, and that's really, really good. So before you know it, it got up to 82 here yesterday. So before we know it, it's going to be warm again. Seasons are changing. Seasons are changing. Okay. So I don't know. This is a little frustrating for me. All right. In one sentence. So here's, if you guys don't know what Campfire Friday is, it's really where we gather around. We're like, I chat with you guys, but I've got something kind of cool to bring to you. I'm always asking the Lord, what should I share? But it's really around us gathering around, kind of, we don't have a fire pit in front of us, but let's imagine it. Grab your favorite beverage. Mine is water with a little bit of GABA in it. GABA, I think that's what it's called. I hope that's what, anyway. The smell is divine. It has such a sweet, yummy smell. And I'm not, um, yeah. So in one sentence or word, describe your week. Let's see. Going to be the 30s here tonight. Wow. Squirrel country, squall, school. How the heck do you say that country? That's interesting. Hi, William. How are you doing? Okay. So I got the first question. Anybody else having, we have so much pollen around here. We have these fruitless mulberry trees. Our poor little kitty cat Pumpkin, she was like having histamine. So I guess cats can get allergies too. She's like, this morning when I was getting up, I hear her, achoo, 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 achoo. Poor little girl. Like she literally, we were like, does she have something up her nose? Like what the heck is going on? But I think Dan came in and he's the cat whisperer more than me. But anyway, she's over here sleeping and so I think she gets allergies. Today I opened up the windows because it was warm in here and I had to bake some sourdough bread. Internal spring cleaning to describe my week, says Deborah. Oh my gosh, do tell. That is very cool. I don't know, a little squirrely to me. A little critter that gathers nuts, a squirrel. Okay, it is a squirrel. Squirrel country. So is that like a real county? Squirrel County? Or do you just live in squirrel country, Cindy? Um, I like this one describing your week. This is a good one. I said in one sentence or one word, describe your week. So a mixed bag of nuts was my week. So many interesting things happened. So it was just like a mixed bag of nuts, which I like mixed nuts because you get a little bit of all the different nuts. The only one in those mixed nuts that I'm not always a fan of is, I think it's called the Brazil nut. So I had a few Brazil nuts too. Oh my gosh, I'm being silly. Okay. Okay. I'm a little tired. I think I've said that 3 times now. Oh no, somebody was in the hospital the last week of March. So my one word for April so far is recovery. Oh, I'm so glad you're recovering. I don't know who this is, but I'm so glad you're recovering. This is good. I'm very happy to hear that. And so does anybody remember? So, Connecting the Dots is my coaching company that we do life coaching, all things with God. And a lot of times, in a lot of the coaching programs I design, they really came from things that God gave me. One is the 3 chairs, I call it. Fear, pride, and unbelief, and it means you can sit down in these chairs. But about 2 years ago, I think he gave me the 4 tanks. I think I was at the gas station, obviously thinking all things gas. By the way, gas is almost, I think it's like $5 a gallon again out here in Stockton, California. Um, yeah, curious what it is other places. So it was high like it is now. But sometimes I get flashes or a picture, and I think a lot of times things come to me when I'm like, okay, God, I don't even know what you want me to talk about today. And but he showed them to me like things. If you guys, I did actually a cool 3-day challenge around this last year. I think I called it the 4 tank challenge. And inside Camp Gambini, it's in there. It's so we kept it in there. But the 4 tanks are love, joy, hope, and peace. Okay, those are the 4 tanks that and we're going to talk about 2 of them today. Okay, we're going to talk about 2 of them. We're going to talk about hope, and we're going to talk about peace. And really, the greatest part is, what does it look like for you? Because sometimes you can be running empty on all your tanks, but other times you do a little inventory and you're like, on a scale of 1 to 10, my tank is at a 10 here. My tank is at a like 8 here. Oh, this is the one that's a 3. So if you're struggling with something, normally one of your tanks has gotten low, and you need to know, sometimes other people can siphon out of your tank, but you're in control of that, right? So you need to be aware of things that can actually drain your tank, things that you can do to fill. And each tank looks a little different. So that's what we're going to talk about is the tanks. So the first tank that I wanted to talk about was, I thought I was going to talk about hope first. Oh, William, you were in prayers for you, William. Oh, William, we're praying for you. Idaho Bill is recovering. Everybody, please lift him up. Um, okay. So peace and hope. There are 4 tanks: love, joy, hope, and peace. Yes. Um, and here's the thing. What I in all the it's actually a big pivotal piece of when I coach people in group coaching, or and where people have had the most breakthrough, is identifying it. Because we all have, like, do you ever have these kind of ups and downs and ups and downs? Well, a lot of times it's related to, you don't realize the things that are sometimes draining, and you're like, oh, well, I don't have time to slow down, I don't have time to do this. So I wanted to talk to you about, we'll talk about peace first. Going to talk about the tank of peace. So how do you know when you're in peace? I'm just curious. What does it feel like for you? So each of these tanks for me, each of them feels different. When I sit down in the 3 chairs, they feel different also. So I feel like I wanted to talk to people about it, because right before I got on here, I wasn't necessarily having any crisis or like feeling anything, but I was just like, I'm tired. Why am I tired? Now I did do, quite a bit today. So I just kind of thought that. And then all of a sudden I remembered, these are sometimes things around certain tanks. So peace normally to me looks like, sometimes a telltale sign for me that I'm out of peace. You guys gonna laugh. Is I start to feel cuss words just come out of my mouth. And if you know me, you know that I really believe that there's power in our mouth. And there's so many scriptures around it. I'm not going to share them all, but do some research around that. I promise you. And so I want to speak life over myself. And so I don't feel like those words are very life-giving words. And I think that a lot of times it comes from a frustration place. And sometimes you're just annoyed and it feels good to just say them. Like, just blank, 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 or blank, blank. And but I've always, my dad was a really big advocate about um using your mind, thinking about things, asking God, and that you don't have to use those type of words all the time. I was actually just having this conversation with my mom. But I will tell you, either way, like, when I hear other people in my life start to cuss, if it's, I will say that if it's ongoing, their level of peace, probably they don't even know. They're like, we'll sit with the Holy Spirit and we'll be like, Holy Spirit, show us, what level is my peace at right now? Many times you would be shocked when we've done these inventories. Many people, their high level of peace is a 3 or a 4 out of 10. Like they've never experienced their tank sometimes being like filled to 8, let alone 10. So when we start to help them with that, identify it, journal it, track every day, like where am I feeling with this? Where am I feeling that we do a tank inventory on a scale of 1 to 10. One of the greatest breakthroughs comes from people. They realize what tank is falling low, what brings that tank low. And many people, it's just shocker. They're like, 0 is a bad day and 3 is a good day. Like they've never experienced more than 5. So we start going in and working on, we start going in and working on some of those things of identifying. So if there is one thing, if you're like, I am great all the time, I'm just going to tell you, I've never met anybody that their tanks don't go up and down, and there's not multiple reasons. So I'm just saying that if do yourself, I'm going to give you a little homework. Sit down and write out the 4 tanks. Okay, just hope, peace, love, joy. And on a scale of 1 to 10, just sit with Holy Spirit and say, where is this right now on a scale of 1 to 10? Where is this? Where is this? Where is this? And start to inventory it every single day, especially during certain times. And you're going to start to see some patterns. And you're going to be like, so there's certain people I know that like 1 or 2 of their tanks are always so pretty high. So I would say, as I've started pushing towards probably the last 10 years of really wanting peace to be my guide, peace to be my normal, doesn't mean that life's not going crazy. But I was just talking to somebody again yet today about this. And something really challenging is going on, but you're peaceful about it. I mean, you're well aware. It doesn't even make sense sometimes, but you're peaceful about it. So peace, I can promise you, if you start taking an inventory of it and start figuring out and just asking the Lord, most of these things I've done myself first before I ever coached to them. And then I just felt like I didn't really think they were something that would super benefit other people. And then this is probably one of the signature ones I will tell you whenever I can hear it in the person's voice, but they can't recognize it themselves. But for me, one of the things that I can tell that I am out of peace, my voice sounds different. And sometimes like that's what it'll sound like oh my gosh, like sometimes I will be a little agitated, and it looks different things. But for me, I'm like a super low number, like probably a 2. I'm going to say from 0 to 3. If my peace tank is that low, I've noticed I will catch myself. I'm like, what the heck? Because if you know me on a normal day, like rarely do I cuss. Rarely do I cuss. It's just not, it's something that I've practiced for a long time. So when those things just start, like hear myself telling somebody about a situation or how was your day? And before I know it, there is any kind of cuss word, whether it's a big cuss word or a little cuss word. Some words, they still beep when you say them, right? But I can just tell you that I never say those when I'm calm like this and bleed. So for me, that's a cue. So I don't know what it is for you, but I would love, if you've got an answer, drop it here. But what did you say, William? I love acoustics. Hope for me is holding on to persistent expectations. I love that. That's why I wore my camo, because I think it's that persistent type of thing of keep going and not giving up. So I love that. So that is peace. I'm just going to talk a little bit about it, but I will say that being aware of if you're things that possibly siphon it, because we're not victims here. So you ask God for strategy, you ask God to show you these things, and then you start to put strategy in place. Not perfection, but you'll start to notice. Normally, with all the people I work with, there is such a shift in whichever tanks are the lowest and we start working on them that it just shifts everything. So that's peace. And you know, it just is different. My tolerance level, because that's what it is. When my tolerance is when I've lost my peace, I don't have the same tolerance that I normally have of accepting people of that. I just get a little annoyed and agitated, anxiety sometimes. So like I will feel, whew, why is this kind of, my heart's pumping, my heart's racing, something like that. I can definitely be down in more than one, but peace, that's what that looks like. So now we're going to talk about hope. And I'm just sharing mine, but I would love to hear what it looks like for you. Okay. So this is the hope tank. So we just talked about peace. So, and there are 4 tanks: joy, love, peace, and hope. But we're just having a little chit chat today in Campfire Friday. And I was just feeling like this is, it's a very simple exercise. So if you're not feeling yourself, and it really came from, I was just like, why am I so tired? So I wasn't like down. I was just, but that can sometimes mean one of my tanks is drained. It can. When I'm really tired, it can mean that sometimes it can be a combo of different ones. So hope versus hopeless. Okay. Hope and peace, honestly, if I'm going to go over all of them, when you start to identify your peace and your hope and where you fall, because most people have been shocked. They're like, every time they're like, no way, that's my normal. I'm not even feel like I'm out of peace right now. And their high is like, we work on it for like a whole month. And, but then it starts going up a little bit and they start realizing a little bit more. But hope feels different to me than peace. Peace, when I'm out of peace, I could be a little agitated. My tolerance level for people, for things, like I don't know if you talk to yourself, but I'll think, whew, what the heck? Why did that bother me so much? Okay. Why? Oh, Lord, God, show me. Many times I have to apologize because I was at my peace. Now, and I don't say this, but my peace level, because I really try, I do the things though. Okay. People always say, Jodi, you have so much joy, you have so much peace, you have so much. This is a work. It's a work in process. And that's why I like to look at them as tanks, because surprisingly, if your tank is never past 5 and full is a 10, then you don't even know what it feels like to be at a 10 in those tanks. Imagine if you do nothing else. And I should have had it ready, but if you would like it, send me a message. I actually have a journal that you can track all 4 of your tanks, and where they're at in daily. And I know it seems silly. Most people are like, I don't like journals. I don't like things. I'm just going to tell you, if you keep finding that you're ending up in the same place, the one other thing for me with peace is when I'm out of peace, I need something to take the edge off. Like I'll find myself saying that, whew, I just need to take the edge off, right? I don't really drink that much anymore, but I would find myself like, I need to take the edge off. For me, it would probably be eat some cookies, okay? Which right now I'm doing 40 days of no um, sugar laden things, from candy to, I realize I've really been intaking more than I should. And I'm doing a little fast. And I know some people say you're not supposed to talk about it. So, but anyway, it's around sugar. So, because the Lord is kind of like, you're having a little more sugar. And so for me, sometimes that might look like it. I'm like mindful, just mindlessly eating. Oh, I just want something salty and crunchy. And there's a lack of peace. So I will tell you, if you take an inventory, hi, well, of it, that is great. Hope looks different though. This is what hope looks for me. I literally am normally like, hey, we can do all things, right? It's going to work out. Right now, see my glass? Like, there's always half empty and half full, right? And they say that's the thought process. Well, there's nothing that you can see, but it literally only has a fourth full. It would be almost running on empty. Okay. I need a refill. I need to move it up to a higher level. So because it's really low, right? So it's important to know that. So for me, all of a sudden, I'm just having a really hard time having faith in believing. Um, so when my hope tank is low, I'm not a big crier normally. I mean, I'm not. I'm not a person that will just start crying. But it could just be that there's been a lot of disappointment that's happened and I haven't identified the fact that it's really drained my tank and what do I need to do to lift my hope. Okay. Um, for me, I will find myself starting to cry, but not just a little cry, like just a defeated, like, oh my gosh, something will never happen this way for me, right? So it's a lot of times when the battle has been weary, a whole lot is happening, and it seems like everything is going the opposite, backward, whatever you want to call it. It's not going the way that you're believing at all. So I notice when my hope tank is low, I will almost want to cry. So sometimes I do. I'm like, why? I about a week and a half ago, I can't even remember. And so words can sometimes do that for me. If some other people speak things out about a situation, I'm a words of affirmation love tank. Um, so when words are spoken that are, I'll notice that all of a sudden, and I had this happen. I don't It's a couple, I can't remember exactly when, but I remember what it felt like because all of a sudden this wave of wanting to cry came on and it was hopelessness and my hope tank was really low. So I had to take a pause. It's like, okay, what do I need to do to fill up my hope tank? Normally, one of the things that fills up my hope tank is just connecting with people that I care and love for. Another, this is going to sound silly, but is creating things. So whether it's taking the challenge of sourdough bread, and there's been a few times, or my fudge, or anything, and connecting with others. So like a huge tank filler was when I got to talk to my niece Crystal, and we both are making sourdough, and we were trying to figure out my grandma's sourdough pancake recipe. I still haven't made it yet, but she did. I noticed like it just filled that tank up, like just getting to collaborate and think of the memories that we had where everybody always made these pancakes around family events, family breakfast, like big family breakfast too, like with our cousins and all the kids and all the things. Maybe we were camping, maybe we were at grandma's. And so that really starts to just to remember something positive, think about it. Looking at scripture, but looking at just something of beauty. So one of the things why I try to go out and watch the sunset as much as I can is it really fills multiple of my tanks up, but especially my hope tank. Life can be challenging, so things don't always go the way that you expect. But if it's really low, I will find these waves of just wanting to cry, just wanting to like just feeling really defeated. So that is is a big kicker for me that has gone down. So I hope that helps you guys. We'll talk about next Friday, we'll talk about love and joy, because I just really felt like sometimes that's what's going on. You may not be depressed, but your tanks, there's things draining your tanks that you may not even know. And so, number one, you might need to readjust how often, or so there's certain things I know if my tank is not at least a 7, this might not be a good idea to be in certain circumstances that I need to be very intentional. If I'm just exhausted, if back we had some really rough stuff when I was up in Red Bluff and my dad Ed and all these things. My tanks were really low, and I we were going on to Tennessee. We were with my cousin and her husband, Chris and Paul, and she's like just the most amazing hostess. Um, Makes you feel really special, and so it was a great place for me to go. Matter of fact, because I never imagined we might have to have canceled the trip, and then in the midst of it, while we were together, we found out that he'd taken a turn, and then um, so but also riding on the motorcycle and seeing all of this beauty and the Smoky Mountains and all the leaves changing colors and just getting to be there, that I could remember many times where I just wanted to cry on back of the bike. But then there was just things that I saw. So just start to be aware of that. Start to track it. If you would like my 4 tank workbook journal, let me know and I will send that. I'll give you a freebie. I'll send you the Fill Your Tanks journal, and you'd be really surprised. If you feel like you would need something more um, nitty gritty around it, send me a private message. We can get on the phone and have a chat, and maybe a way. Maybe you're in a season where having someone really help walk through it with you, help you with whatever you're trying to do, and would be really helpful. That's what coaches really are. I love being a coach. I realize I think I'm a natural coach. I was always the cheerleader, the encouraging one, trying coming up with thoughts and ideas. But here's the thing: not everybody wants that. So this is much better. So let me know what number out of 1 to 10 or 0 to 10 is your peace tank right now. There's no right or wrong answer. What number is your joy tank? So have an amazing week. We will be back for our other series, Motivational Monday. And then next Friday, we'll have a new chit chat. Stay tuned on my socials. I'm updating you. I just did some more fun adventures in sourdough. So have an amazing day. Blessings. Happy Friday.